Can I talk about something that comes across as a little, I feel like it might seem a little bit like I'm reaching, but I want to distill a discourse I've seen for the past few days, even though I don't have a lot to go off of. This is a fascist Twitter account called DC Drano. You've probably seen him. Like all other fascist accounts on Twitter, he makes shit up for attention and blue check dollars. He gets like $3 for every tweet or something. Who knows? Doesn't really matter to me. We'll read this in a second, but first, have you seen this video? You probably have.
Gen Z boss and a mini. Gen Z boss and a mini. Itty bitty titties and a bob. Itty bitty titties and a bob. 5'3" and an attitude.
You haven't? Oh, well, here you go.
Secret product in the trench. Secret product in the trench. New friend green and a sneaky link. New friend green and a sneaky link. Fake 10 hands in a hoop. Fake 10 hands in a hoop.
Sadly, yes. Well, maybe because I'm stronger than you, but I'm just happy that they're having a good time. This is a video of some women who work at a small Australian skincare company. It's just them being goofy. There's not really any other context behind it. Maybe they're following some trend, but this video is years old. I've also seen it posted maybe like 500 billion times, almost entirely by men who are very, very, very angry at them. It's difficult. I can't even like sum it up, I guess, without like just assuming that you've probably seen it yourself. But like there is like a category of guy for whom these women are literally everything wrong in the world. I think the impression that they've gotten when they look at this, in addition to the fact that a lot of them just plain don't like women, is that many women occupy a there is like an economically privileged caste of women who have fake office jobs, who make lots of money doing nothing, and they get to post videos of how they went out like 3 times on their workday to get a like frappuccino or whatever. They don't actually do any work, and that this is everything wrong with the economy. And the thesis that I'm building towards here, that I'm trying to construct, I think a lot of Trump supporters want the tariffs to destroy the economy because they think it'll make it easier for them to rape women. It used to be that you didn't have to be a very good guy to get a wife at all, because women could not support themselves unless they were sex workers, or maybe very lucky like heiresses or whatever. But for the most part, like in the 1920s, 1910s, basically like before the second wave feminist movement, before like the second women's liberation movement, women were pretty economically dependent on men. To a large extent, they still are, because men still do make on average more than women, though that gap is narrowing year over year. And the problem with women not being dependent on men is that as a guy, you have to be like nice to women to get one now. And that's a problem because a lot of guys really, really suck. I make fun of guys a lot on stream. I make fun of women too. I'd like to think I play it pretty even, but I genuinely think that like when it comes to a particular kind of person, that person being like something who offers absolutely nothing to society or to a partner, I think guys have women beat out in numbers, like by quite a bit. There are a lot of guys out there who are just not good at making themselves appealing to people at all. Just very not likable, just like gross on every level. And you all know this if you've ever made yourself available to men in person or on Grindr or on Tinder or on Hinge, you know? Like it doesn't take much, I guess. And this isn't like all men. I'm not saying all men or anything. I'm saying that if you're the kind of person who would see this video and get angry, and that's a category that includes, at minimum, hundreds of thousands of men, I think you're probably in that category. And I think that a lot of people are looking forward to the tariffs because they think it'll primarily eliminate these women's nothing jobs so that they are then once again financially dependent on men. Here, I'll read the post now. And I just want you to like really fixate on how much psychosexual, like, I don't know, revulsion is dripping off this. Imagine watching this video as a blue-collar worker coming home to your rented house in a tough neighborhood after being laid off from your factory job because it got shipped to Mexico while you fill out an unemployment benefits form and look for affordable divorce lawyers after your wife said she's leaving and taking the kids and moving them to another state because their school was trying to turn your son into a girl. Meanwhile, you've got another text about a high school classmate dying from a fentanyl overdose, your truck broke down again, but you can't afford the repair. This sounds like it sucks so far. You can't afford the repairs because the interest rate on your payments is too high, and your parents tell you they can't afford basic groceries on their social security check because of record inflation, and you are wondering if you can send them $200, and you don't want to do it on Venmo because the IRS might audit you again. Just classic IRS blue-collar worker audits. You grab a beer and turn on the TV to try to relax and see a trans TikToker taking a bubble bath with a Bud Light can in their hand while some multimillionaire actress at the Oscars says everything wrong in this country is your fault. This is why they want Trump to tariff the shit out of foreign countries and burn it all down in DC. So this was probably constructed via ChatGPT. I'm not trying to make a statement specifically about DC Drano because he just says whatever, basically. But I think what's more indicative is that this sentence is meant to appeal to this particular kind of guy. Does that make sense? Like, this is rage bait slop that's designed to encapsulate a specific mindset. You know what I mean? And it's the mindset that I'm talking about here, more so than I am like the specific post. This feels like 2022 to me. Yeah, well, here, let's talk about it a bit more from the person whose thread made me want to talk about this, please. There's some interesting online piece of data showing the extent to which it really does seem men think the point of tariffs is to cause economic hardship, specifically for American women. Most of the articles I've read where women business owners are talking about the fear they have to close up shop are besieged with comments like, you should make an OnlyFans or get married. Not to be Freudian about this, but I really do think the sub-rational reason for a lot of this, and why no one can articulate a rational reason, is the fantasy that tariffs will make us go to a land of big beefy white men swinging hammers and steel mills who go home to women who have to make themselves sexually available to men who they wouldn't want to spend time with if they didn't have to for financial reasons. Again, a lot of the male loneliness epidemic is self-selected. I want a woman to have sex with me, but I don't want to treat her well. If only she had to have sex with me for financial reasons. This is the economic version of that. We're going to have to get rid of all these white-collar, global knowledge economy jobs that women succeed in, so they have to settle down with men who, I don't know, work in sweatshops or something, who shoot deer. We haven't figured that out yet. And I think that's pretty spot on, to be honest. I think that's a pretty bang-on analysis of the dynamic, you know? Because have you not seen a lot of that online? A lot of people who are like, okay, we were pretending that Trump was going to make the economy good. We actually always knew he was going to make it bad for everyone, but we don't care anyway because we already weren't getting laid. More or less. I've seen like literally all of them say that. Like every right-wing account who has done the like, well, now that we know this is going to be ruinous for everyone, this is the new argument. And it seems to be the real one, I guess. Just like, I don't know, incoherent, abstract, psychosexual resentment. I must be so far removed from evil that it's hard for me to grasp that some people actually want tariffs to ruin women so they could come in with state-sanctioned rape. I know that's difficult to grasp, but I genuinely think that's probably a better explanation than any kind of like belief that this would improve the economy, which is very easily disproven by looking at the economy. Didn't you push back against takes like this past that men are fully aware of systems of patriarchy and rape culture they benefit from? Oh, sure. The average man, not these guys. The incel community, 100%. Or they might be on the opposite end of that dynamic, right? Where they think that they actually are like the disprivileged class, which, again, we've talked about this before. But basically all conservatives kind of comes down, it all basically boils down to like, we should ruin everything for everyone because I'm not getting laid. So I guess it's just like an extension of that. It's the same with racism, right? Like so much racial animus is made manifest in the form of like resentment towards, in our case, black men's perceived sexual superiority. They do the same thing over in Korea. Did you know that in Korea and in China, they both have massive incel communities that say the same things about black men, even though there are like no black people in either country? There are like no black people in South Korea. But the idea of like big, monstrous, sexually virile, big-dicked black men f***ing their women is really prominent over there. And it's like, dude, leaving aside like the whole everything, you literally like don't have black people in your country. What the f***? where are you getting this from? And it's like a psychosexual disease that's transmitted through the internet. Like, they got it from us. They got it from us. Like, they look at our internet and they get the same disease. It's like a mimetic virus. It's crazy. I don't know, man. Doesn't help that porn is super racist. Yeah, but who made porn racist, right? Like, it's, again, none of this comes from nowhere. It's not like a coincidence or whatever. The Jews is what they'd say. They'd probably blame the Jews, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's just very, I've seen this video so many goddamn times, and people get so mad at it every time. And it's just like, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. I don't even understand the actual video. It's just them being goofy. I don't think there's anything to understand. There's not any underlying meaning to it. Whatever you see when you watch it is what other people see when they watch it. You're not missing out on any context. I can't tell you how many like times I've seen that video in like a 60K like tweet from a guy saying like, you know, this or tariffs. I choose the tariffs. What are you talking about, man? They just hate women. It's been known to happen, yeah. Do they hate women that much? Yes. Have you seen the way they talk about women? I don't think they hide it. I don't even think they try to hide it at all. I really do think that like a lot of what we're dealing with right now is just a consequence of the fact that it used to be that you didn't have to try to get a wife, and now you have to try. And I don't know. I don't know, man. There's a lot of guys out there who don't put any effort in at all. And I'm not talking about clothes or appearance or anything. I'm talking like holistically in their life. Like they make no effort whatsoever to be desirable people. And there are women who are like that, sure. And those women tend to be treated quite poorly by society. Like people don't tend to think very much of them. And there are guys who do that. And they may or may not be like poorly regarded, but for the most part, I don't think women create like, I don't know, neo-Nazi social movements in an effort to secure husbands. Another video of right-wing people getting angry for no reason. Oh yeah, I saw this one. Weak men create hard times. And it's a guy using a little lift to raise up the trash. And the punchline to this video is that the person recording it is a construction worker on a construction site. I have seen what construction workers have to do because they've been legally mandated to do it after some other guy got injured by trying to showboat. I don't think you're in a position to make fun of other people. You are like, your entire industry is people like either circumventing or being subjected to stringent safety requirements to prevent you guys from throwing your backs out or like dying, you know? Imagine being a construction worker and making fun of other people for being slow in doing their job. I'm not, I've seen your goddamn, I've seen what your work looks like, okay? I drive by it every day. We have no idea how heavy that bag is. Can you imagine how mentally ill you have to be to see some like wagey worker lifting up a garbage bag this way and being like, let's record it to make fun of them online? Like, can you imagine like where your mind has to be at? Like, why the f do you care? Frankly, I think caring about shit like this is a female attribute. You're like a fishwife. You're like a gossiping hen. You know, like if you were a real man, you would be working on the job site doing work. Instead, you're like a female. You're skipping work to observe others and giggle about it. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I agree. Weak men create hard times. I just think you got to turn the camera around. So what you're saying is women are bourgeois. I'm saying that. Yeah, I'm willing to say that. Not in construction, but similar. I have to ask for help for lifting something over 50 pounds. Listen. You should get out of your phase of wanting to prove how strong you are on the job site once you turn like 22, okay? Because past a point, like every time you lift something heavy, especially something heavy with improper leverage, you're rolling dice. It literally doesn't matter how strong you are, because if the leverage is poor or if something happens, like your muscle strength isn't what's being tested. It's the physical, like it's the lever mechanics of your body and what gives first. Will the tension be placed on the muscle or on the bone or the tendon, you know? And it's not a strength thing. Like you can strengthen your tendons to an extent with regular exercise, but also I've seen construction workers and a lot of you guys do not look like you're getting up at 6:30 in the morning for a jog. So you've got a lot of weight on you. I doubt you're doing a lot of like, you know, heavy compound lifting to strengthen your tendons in the day-to-day. Just saying, be careful. Men also seem to be proud of ruining their bodies to impress their buddies. Yeah, you're vulnerable to peer pressure, which makes you like weak, you you know? Like the strong man will have 18-inch biceps and say, no, I'm going to wait for the crane to come in because I don't think that my big muscles should mean that I have to risk my health completing the job. And the weak man will say, well, I'm going to like overcompensate and perform strength at my, like for personal risk because I would rather bear risk to my own body than suffer the shame and indignity of other people judging me for being sensible. Real strength is knowing your limits. Real strength is knowing that injury rarely has to do with testing your limits. Like for every person who injures themselves because they're like lifting a fridge or something and it's just more than their body can handle, there are 20 people who injured themselves because they lifted something that weighs 5 pounds, but because it only weighs 5 pounds, they just like bent down to pick it up with their back a little bit twisted and then they stood up quickly, you know? It's like, it's very rarely like actually the strength of the muscle and usually being careless. Yep, bend at the waist, quick twist and a little grab, absolutely every time. Twisting, grinding motion. Big 10 hands in a hoop. Yes. Work as lazy as possible so you can work as long as possible. That's right. You know that's right. It's the same everywhere in fascism. For example, here in India, there's a whole craze over muscular Hinduism. A lot of Modi supporters constantly praise him for apparently having a 56-inch chest. Modi does not have a 56-inch chest. Is that a joke? Is that a mistranslation? Do you mean 56 centimeters halfway across? So like 112 centimeters? There is absolutely no way this man has a 56-inch chest. At his height, he would have to be like the biggest guy in the world or something. There's no way. Damn, his tits must be huge. Yeah, he's got a binder on. Trump might be a 56. He's tall and he's got a barrel chest. I'm a 44 and I'm 6'2". So you can like proportion that out however you want. This is why women are ruining society. That's true. Experts worry of a possible bear market. Aren't we objectively in a bear market right now? Get 56-inch chest workout. Rubal Dankar. What the fuck is this? This guy doesn't have a 56-inch chest. Dude, nobody has a 56-inch chest unless you're like very tall or very fat. The muscle on its own is not enough to bring your... That's mine plus an entire extra foot added to the ruler tape. Even very developed pectoral muscles are not going to push that tape out by a foot. Samsung Dwara, who is the current Mr. Olympia, has a 56-inch chest. Yeah, this is like Mr. Olympia shit. I mean, again, depending on your height. I don't think you got his name right, though. Unless you did? Yeah, here we go. The guy on the left, I assume. Like that, I'll believe 54 inches. Or 56 inches or whatever. Anyway, this is not relevant. This is not germane to the stock market collapse. Wall Street could soon be in the clutches of another bear market as the Trump administration's tariff blitz fuels fear that the added taxes on imported goods from around the world would sink the global economy. Maybe. A bear market's determined by 20%. S&P 500 is now down 18.4%. Ooh, we're going to see. We're going to see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We're going back down. Is this the S&P 500? Which index are we looking at? Oh, no. The Dow. Because of the numbers. You know it's bad when the top linked video on AP News is literally just a live feed of the stock market ticker. Like not even any commentary, just like watching it go. That's funny. Man, watching it move this much moment by moment is insane. Normally when you watch the ticker, it does not fluctuate like fractions of a percent. Like not hundredths, but tenths fractions of a percent. Second by second. Yeah, every second that passes, it's billions of dollars up and down. It's the last hour of trading. Yes, we'll have to see how it goes. Oh! This is just more hype-oriented reaction. No, it's always hype-oriented reaction. There's not a direct connection between actual market performance, or sorry, I should say like economic reality and market performance. I mean, there's usually like a follow-along. There's like a correlation, but God only knows, you know, how that actually... It's all vibes. But the vibes do matter. Like, the vibes are important. Beep, beep, beep. Oh my god, it just went down to 1.35% down. Literally, take 1 second to stand up, look back at stock market, $100 billion erased. Oh my god, man. Jesus Christ. Oh, back up, 0.1%. Ooh. All right, okay, we're gonna give that a bit. We're gonna give that a little bit, okay? Beep, beep.